Welcome to Libertad, Dani.
The latest Far Cry 6 official story trailer just dropped as part of Geoff Keighley's Gamescom opening night live show, and we got a look at the central conflict of the game.
Our paradise comes at a cost.
We decided to unpack the cinematic techniques used in the trailer to tell the story of Anton, Diego, and Dani, and it's all presented by Far Cry 6, available on October 7th, 2021.
Lion finds calm before the kill.
The trailer opens by setting up the framing device of the interview. The best stories are only as good as the villain, so here with this trailer, they're setting up how villainous Anton Castillo really is in a handful of ways narratively. The juxtaposition of Castillo with an American journalist implies the rest of the world is watching him, and according to the game's narrative director, Navid Kavari, Castillo can effectively hold the world hostage with a powerful cancer drug only produced in Yara.
Viviro, a cure.
Which we'll see later in the trailer. Other countries will ignore the way he is enslaving his people in order to get their hands on Viviro, but Castillo sees himself as a savior.
Viviro saves millions of lives.
Quick cuts to the camps only give us part of the picture. The cuts line us up with the journalist's perspective. We're not getting the full picture, but enough to be intrigued, which is the whole point of the first 30 seconds of a trailer. It's important to note the blocking when the focus shifts to Anton's son, Diego Castillo. He glances up nervously when it's his turn to speak. His posture is slouching. He responds with a kind of non-answer.
He is a great teacher.
The trailer next cuts away to a shooting lesson. Diego's antsy, uncomfortable holding a gun while Anton stalks around him like a lion. A thematic callback to the announcement trailer where Anton was teaching life lessons with a grenade.
What are you doing?
It appears that throughout the course of Far Cry 6, Anton will spend quite a bit of time trying to get his son to pull the trigger on his prey, figuratively and literally, to prepare his son for the harsh realities of leading Yara as its dictator. According to Navid, Anton wishes to secure his legacy through his son Diego, setting the groundwork so his son will have absolute control long after he's gone, whether Diego likes it or not.
Brilliant.
It's also important to listen to the music in this section. They've built a music track full of atmosphere, punctuated by impacts and sound effects of the violence in Castillo's regime, but it all crescendos on this shot of Anton coaxing Diego into shooting a bird. The pace of the edit and the timing of the music all make this the most significant moment in the early going of this trailer. The father-son dynamic between Anton and Diego will be front and center. Back to the interview, the reference to the knife he used cutting tobacco is the only thing that doesn't get a cutaway.
I hear you still have the blade.
Instead, there is a large music sting indicating a tonal shift as Anton stands up and moves closer, again asserting his dominance over the reporter like an apex predator on the prowl. It also intentionally holds back what could be the most intriguing part of his backstory. Hopefully something for us to learn more about when we play. But here we are, 1 minute in, about 40% structurally. They've established a villain that we know, but there's still more to learn.
No one will care.
When the title card hits, it's basically the same music track, but there's a new rhythm to it. New percussion and a different bass line gives the track a more down-to-earth energy as we transition into meeting our story's protagonist, Dani Rojas, who, it's worth noting, can be male or female per the player's choice, but all the promo material so far has shown a female Dani. And we learn just how bad a guy Anton is.
Get as far away as you can from that psychopath.
Then the trailer structurally juxtaposes all of Anton's sermonizing with the realities of the narrative. He highlights his Machiavellian nature over images of statues getting pulled down, violence in the streets, all in service of a cancer treatment. His speeches are cross-cut with Dani and her compatriots' own words and actions.
A revolution is not won by the fearless.
This stretch of montage not only sets up Dani and Anton as the two opposing personalities in the story, but it takes both the narrative and the motivations and boils it all down into one man's mania. Combining these images and VO, the montage quickly sets the stakes for the story and who's responsible for them. And according to Navid, we'll see that the line between visionary and tyrant can be blurry. Libertad will stop at nothing to free Yara from Anton. Its leader, Clara Garcia, will have to decide just how much blood she's willing to spill to win the revolution, at the risk of becoming a tyrant herself.
I will be feared.
Then it's just cue the violence and profanity. A quick and dirty series of shots that follow show off all the makeshift toys you'll get to play with over the course of the game as part of Libertad's resolver philosophy, a guerrilla's ability to solve the problem at hand with whatever tools and materials are at their disposal, from driving cars through barricades and making a gun out of a pile of fireworks. After all the effort of the opening in setting up an elegant, articulate, and ruthlessly power-mad villain, this montage makes quick work in establishing how he's going to lose. The trailer wraps up with a shot that bookends nicely with Diego shooting the bird in the intro. We see Anton hand his son a gun with a prisoner kneeling in front of them. Because the trailer made such a meal out of the first time Anton talked Diego into killing, we're expecting Diego to take this shot as well. It's a pattern we've seen before because the trailer took such pains to establish it. So, even within this 2.5-minute trailer, the editing has progressed the dangerous dynamic we'll be seeing between this villainous father and his son.
Rule or be ruled.
We'll experience the dynamic unfold when Far Cry 6 releases on October 7th, 2021 on Xbox Series X, Series S, and other platforms. And for more on Far Cry 6, stay tuned to IGN.com.
Play it on the all-new Xbox.